Queen Charlotte Day. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Melissa. If you're new here, hello. I've been waiting for this because I am a Bridgerton fan. I'm a big fan of season 1. I am lukewarm on season 2. And this is a spin-off coming from the mind of Shonda Rhimes and also Julia Quinn. I know that they wrote a book together. I did a live show, just like a fun fan chat show on the first season and also on the second season, which you can see a link for each below in the description. And I'm also, I already did a reading vlog for book 3 of the Bridgerton books for season 3. That will come out as soon as the trailer for season 3 comes out. So be on the lookout for that. So yeah, I don't love long intros. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump in and watch Queen Charlotte season 1. I almost forgot to mention that I am also planning on doing a live show for Queen Charlotte. That will be on May 9th. So if you want to come join and chat about the show with other fans, come on in and join. I'll be so happy to see you there. Episode 1 down, Queen Bee. I am engaged. I'm in this. I want to see what happens. I want to talk about the roller coaster that this put me through, because right off the bat, I'm going to talk about when Charlotte and George first meet as she's trying to escape over the wall. It is so cute. It is a moment where they're first meeting, these two poor young people who do not know each other, who need to get married within the next few minutes. He catches her trying to escape, and he's very nice, kind, and flirty. And the first moment they touch, I felt my heart ablaze. What is it about historical movies or shows where people, when they first even touch hands, like nothing sexual at all? Why is that so romantic? I thought the moment was really well done. I think George can tell that Charlotte is feeling really nervous and anxious about having to marry a stranger. So she's just complaining about how she doesn't know him, and so he starts stating all these facts about him, and all the while he's very smiley. He's trying to put her at ease, and he's like, it's your decision. I'll see you there, or I won't see you there. But we all know, it's neither of their decisions. And then we see them get married, and they seem to have a really beautiful celebration at the church, and then a nice reception. And when it's time to go back home to get their wedding night on, he lets her know that they're going to be living separately. She's going to have her own big old mansion, and he's going to go off somewhere in Kew, wherever that is. And she is so confused and also hurt by this. And I'm also hurt by this. I thought he was feeling her. He was all nice and flirty, and he was like, "You're too beautiful for me. I'm a troll." He was saying all the right things. He got really anxious. It looked like he got anxious and nervous, and he kept telling her, "I want to go back to Kew. I want to go back to Kew." So now I'm thinking, is the king impotent? Is he a virgin and he's nervous? I can't imagine him being a virgin in this time, because all you ever see in these shows are how the guys are whoring around and all the girls don't know anything about the wedding nights. So what is going on with King George? We're also introduced to Lady Danbury, who I already love, and I feel so bad for her for being married to Lord Danbury. I hope he dies in this show so that we could see her get her freak on with some guy who knows what to do and how to please her. She's great. Catelyn Stark is in this show. Catelyn from Game of Thrones. She's the queen mother of King George in this, but I'm going to continue calling her Catelyn Stark. She's the one who first makes the comment about how Charlotte is too brown, and she did not expect that. So it looks like with this show, they will be talking about race a lot more heavily than they have in the previous seasons of this Bridgerverse, which I think will be, let's see how that goes. So even though the mom at first is not really feeling Charlotte being too brown, she decides that they will not do anything about this. They're just going to act like this is completely under control, that this is completely normal. If the palace doesn't make a big deal out of it, then nobody else will make a big deal out of this. So when she decides this, she decides to extend the guest list, and that's how we get Lady Danbury at the wedding, and she's now becoming part of Charlotte's court. So they're instantly going to become BFFs, I gather. And then we also get a dual timeline. It's a show that's going to have the, I guess, present day Charlotte and then past Charlotte. I'm not sure exactly which timeline we're seeing present day Charlotte. I don't know if this is post Kate and Anthony or in between that whole situation. But guess what, y'all? George and Charlotte had 15 kids, and during the present timeline, the heir to the throne has died, so now there is no heir to the throne, and now she is pressuring her children to get on with it. All the men have bastard children, and almost all the girls are not married, and the one married daughter has not produced an heir, so she asks her, "Are you even doing sex right?" She is still very funny. She is feisty, but there's also this underlying sadness I think you can feel and see. So shout out to the actresses doing their jobs. But yeah, I'm in it. I'm engaged. I will say I wish we had seen more brown children coming out of Charlotte and George. I mean, you had like 15. Are you serious? On to episode 2. These episodes feel so long because so many things happen in one episode. I don't even know where to start. I'm going to start from the end. So, something is wrong with King George, and this may be why he's been putting off his wedding night with Charlotte. At first, I thought he must be going through some sort of trauma, something he experienced in his past, and he doesn't want to put her through it and to hurt her. But I didn't really think about health issues. And I know, obviously, that in present day, King George is not well mentally. I think he has some sort of dementia or Alzheimer's. So I didn't think that we would see health issues while he was still young. I'm not ready for these tears. This is so sad already. I feel bad. I wonder how deep they're going to delve into that. Sorry if you can hear my dog. I wonder how much they're going to delve into that in the past or even in the present. It's interesting to me because in the present day, it seems like Queen Charlotte is all about marriage is for duty, love is for idiots. But I guess I assumed that while they were young, even though they didn't know each other, young George and young Charlotte somehow fell in love with each other. And it started out nice and kind and flirty, and then it was cold. Now I'm assuming, now that they finally have had their wedding night, we'll finally talk about that, it's gonna go smooth sailing. So it seems like their relationship was a roller coaster from the get-go. And I am interested to see how this develops so that we understand her more and why she is the way that she is with the beliefs that she has now about love and marriage. A standout to me immediately is Lady Danbury. She went toe-to-toe with Catelyn Stark, aka the Queen Mother, and basically was really straight up forward with her, saying, "Bitch, I'm already rich. My father is king of Sierra Leone. We have money. What we don't have is equality here, and we don't have respect. We don't have lands. We don't have an estate." And the queen is really trying to get into Charlotte and George's business, and she knows that Lady Danbury has visited them. So she wants Danbury to be the sort of ear and spy, so that she can know what's going on in her son's marriage. And Lady Danbury is basically like, "I may do this for you if you give me and my husband the rights to the things that we should have already, because we are lord and lady." They're basically not being treated equally because they're black, and she recognizes this, and she's demanding that she and her husband get treated fairly and equally if you want her to be, your spy. So I love that scene between Danbury and the Queen Mother. I love Lady Danbury already. How can you not? The actress who's playing her back in the day is doing a great job already. So I'm excited to see more of Lady Danbury's journey, to be honest. And even though I do remember saying that I hope her husband dies, I feel bad about saying that now, because they seem like it's a loving relationship, at least because she still wants the best for her husband and for his happiness. I just feel bad that she's not really getting it good in bed. And I'm just hoping that I want to see all the good stuff happen for Lady Danbury. So that includes having a good bed partner, because I want to see her be happy. I like that we get these sort of side plots with some of the characters, the side characters, Brimsley and also George's servant man person. They are having a secret relationship together. I like that they're kind of like their people's right-hand man, and they get to see and hear everything that's happening, and they get to keep the secrets, and they are there for their respective king and queen. So I'm excited to see more from their characters. This show is sad as well, because In the beginning, we see Charlotte feeling very much alone and lonely at the beginning of her marriage. And then when you're cutting back to the Bridgerton timeline of present day Charlotte, she is back in a household, in a huge household, eating a meal by herself again. I'm wondering where the heck are her kids? She has so many kids, but she has no grandchildren. And I'm guessing, her sons are off in brothels, and her daughters, well, they don't really have an excuse. They're all unmarried except for one. I'm feeling bad for Queen Charlotte. But yeah, on to episode 3. This is not a romance. Just got done with episode 3, Even Days, which, oh my god, Netflix does not know the meaning of pause. Hold, please. Pause. This is not a romance. In the beginning, it's very, like, hot and spicy. They're sniping at each other. They're mad at each other. But they have decided that on even days, they will see each other for banging purposes only, because she needs to be with child. This is all this great experiment, which I hate that they call it that. Like, they're freaking animals in a science lab. Ugh. But this consummation, this union, and they need this consummation to produce an heir. She needs to be with child for this great experiment because the stakes are high. They're high. If this doesn't work out, then it's just not going to make it seem like the people of color are going to be welcomed and ever seen as anything more than what they are being perceived to be as. So there is a lot of pressure on Charlotte's shoulders, but who makes her see that is Lady Danbury, who, again, I think is like the standout. Like, I am very much invested in her storyline, just as much or probably more than Charlotte and George. Although now, with the sad ending of episode 3, I'm not a history buff, so call me stupid, but I didn't realize that he would be going through these episodes at such a young age. And now I feel so sad about their love story, and understanding more and more of Charlotte's armor and her current depression and in the current Bridgerton timeline and the present day. Obviously, I knew that he had suffered some sort of, they haven't named it yet, but there's something going on that he's sick somehow. And I knew that when he was older, he experienced that, but I didn't realize that it happened to him so young. Now this is going to make me Wikipedia and Google the information about the facts, like how old was he when this first started happening. I really liked how Charlotte handled the situation. She at first was confused, but she wasn't freaked out. She just kept on calling her husband's name, and she was running after him in the gardens. And somehow I think her instincts knew to just indulge him and make believe that she is this Venus person that he's looking for, and to bring him back into the house, into safety, because he was having a mental breakdown there. I will say I am kind of confused about this relationship between Lord and Lady Danbury. I knew that it wasn't a true love match, but it did seem like he wasn't a terrible person to her. He was just a really bad lover. And it seemed like they had a loving friendship at the very least. But she is literally celebrating his death with her lady in waiting. But I guess I'm trying to rationalize it by thinking of it as he was always kind of her partner in crime to get more access and respect in the tone, but she was not about having him as her husband, apparently. I'm still holding on hope that she gets herself a little side piece as a widow. I want to see her experience some kind of love that is pleasing to her. On to episode 4. And the sadness continues. Episode 4 is all about seeing the story from King George's point of view. So all the questions that I had in the beginning, why is he staying away from her? Why he never gives her an explanation? Why does he turn on a new leaf when he's deciding he wants to be with his wife and spend time with her and consummate this wedding? this marriage, we find out the answers. And the entire time that we see, and Charlotte thinks that her new husband is ignoring her, he is shut away in his observatory as he's trying to keep himself away from her, so that, I think, because he's terrified of what his illness may make him do. He's afraid to hurt her. And then once he decides he does want to try to be with her, to be near her, he's kind of fighting for his life with this Dr. John Monroe, I think his name is, which I did Google him to see if he actually existed, and he did. Apparently, he was a physician back in the day who was known for his antics. He was very controversial in his medical treatments, and he is brought in to come take care of King George, and he has some methods that seem kind of brutal and cruel, and things from like ice baths to leeches and being tied up to a chair. And King George is doing all of this because he wants to be with Charlotte. He thinks this is what he has to do to get better, so he's seeking treatment as he sees his wife is so sad and lonely and her feelings are hurt, and he's just this man stuck in this state, and he's trying to not be that. He's trying to be the man for her that she deserves. Oh god, it's all so, this feels like I'm actually not watching Bridgerton. I'm watching a historical fiction that Nicholas Sparks wrote. Is that a diss? I don't know. I think that was the shortest one. That felt shorter because it's kind of like we see the story from his point of view, so it's kind of sped up so that we're not reliving every little bit. But yeah, we got to see it from his perspective, and then we get to see Charlotte reacting not to her husband but to her husband's mother, and she's angry. And I think it's realistic that she would be angry because yes, she is a woman who has little to no rights in this time, and she was betrothed to this man. It was shitty to not let her know that there's something going on there. She had to find out. I mean, and it's kind of crazy to think that they brought in a woman in his life to be married. They really believe that his future wife, whoever she was not going to find out, was not going to think something is happening, something is weird. Now, what is Charlotte going to do? Oh, well, we know she ends up being married with him for many, many decades. Oh my goodness. It's a miracle that she hadn't offed herself a long time ago. Anyways, on to episode 5. Almost at the finish line. I must say, I know I was saying this entire vlog that I want Danbury to get some. Initially, this is not how I pictured it going down. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy that she got her some, but I'm also not super happy about who it's with because it is with a married man. Oh gosh, she's mourning, they formed a friendship. I wonder if Violet's father is still around. Damn. You know what? I hope after Mr. Bridgerton, Danbury still found other men because she's a single woman. Hi. So for this episode, King George is not seen in much of it at all, and he does not spend a lot of time with his wife, Queen Charlotte, because he is away being treated by Dr. Monroe. And then we see Charlotte finally discovering this. She's discovering these crazy methods. She walks in on him about to be branded with with a pike thing, and she finally sends Dr. Monroe away, and she's like, my husband just needs what he needs. If he needs to be mad, then that is that. You are finished here. So I liked her making that decision to just use love and care to be with him, because obviously, the show is showing back then they just did not have the information and the knowledge of mental illnesses. So this is just not working, whatever they're doing for him. So she's gonna find a better way. Her only way to do that in her own way is through just being with him and caring him and loving him. So this is a sad story. I know I said this, I think once or twice already during this vlog, but I don't know what I expected. I don't know if I had any expectations. I think I thought this would be a bit more romantic and sensual, and it's definitely not that. So far, for what it is, I think it's fine. Nothing so far has given me the Bridgerton season 1 feels. I think that was lightning in a bottle. And I just have to let it go. That was a moment in time. It was its own thing. It will not happen again. I am enjoying this more than season 2 of Bridgerton, though, so it has that for it. Well, that final scene kind of broke me. Th- I was just so happy to finally see a softer side to Charlotte. I think there's instances here and there where you do see it throughout the show and also even in the past seasons, but this is like the one time where we get to see her with her husband in the current Bridgerton timeline. It's like so happy but so sad at the same time because they are still together and she still loves him so much and she's still there for him while he's in this state. She still loves him, but we also know that she is unhappy a lot of the times because she's so lonely. But she also still loves her husband. Oh gosh. That final scene was brutal. Brutal. I also loved the moment between Lady Danbury and Violet in the Bridgerton timeline when they're older. Because I feel like, in a way, Violet was letting Danbury know that I know you banged my dad back in the day. And I think I was afraid that it would turn too much it would turn into unnecessary drama just to set up some possible second season for this limited series. But thankfully, it did not do that. It was mostly a gesture of, I know, but hey, I understand. And I think that makes sense because we have seen Violet throughout the series in this show, how she is ready to kind of open up herself up again in that way to the possibility of being with another man. So I think because she's a grown woman now, she's a widow herself, she may have been a little bit salty and shocked at first, but ultimately she is at a place where she can understand Lady Danbury for the things that went down back in the day. I thought they had a lovely moment between the two of them. That dynamic was a surprise to me throughout the show. I didn't know that it would be like that. So that was cool. In terms of future seasons, will the Charlotte and George children get their own limited series? Oh my goodness, they kept mentioning Smythe Smith throughout the series, and that would get me so excited because the Smythe Smith family have a spin-off books that Julia Quinn has written. We've heard Smythe Smith before in the other seasons of Bridgerton. I wonder if maybe that those books will get shows someday, or other Julia Quinn books. She has other spin-offs she's done. So yeah, we'll see what the future holds. Um, I will let you guys know my overall rating during our live show on May 9th. I think it's been a roller coaster. There are some surprises, some things I didn't expect, and some things I'm lukewarm on, some things I really enjoyed. So, yeah, find out my rating and please let me know your overall rating, 1 out of 5 stars, down in the comments below. I can't wait to hear from you. And yeah, let's all nerd on Bridgerton together. I'll see you guys next time. And please share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm a great YouTuber.